We're still taking you to Tanzania, Senegal, and Uganda as we look at the headlines for today.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Well, starting from Tanzania, we'll be reading from the Citizen newspaper, and the headline says government spokesperson gives clarification on Tanzania's COVID-19 status. The Tanzanian government spokesperson Dr. Hassan Albers has said that the country cannot say whether it doesn't or whether it will not have people suffering from COVID-19 because interaction of people across the world increases chances of disease transmission from one place to another. Now, Dr. Abba, who doubles as permanent secretary in the Ministry of Information, Culture, Arts and Sport, made the statement in an interview with the BBC Swahili. He said despite the country's success in preventing the disease, sometimes people with coronavirus are diagnosed, especially when foreign nationals arrived in the country. According to him, the fight against COVID-19 has been successful following the use of a combination of mitigation measures that have ranged from scientific and traditional medicine, as well as early efforts to contain the disease. One thing he said was that, but we cannot say that Tanzania does not and has never had coronavirus. We cannot say that because we have already controlled this disease. But if there are cases that will be known because our regulations require that everybody entering the country should be diagnosed. And he added some are being treated. We can't focus too much or invest a lot in disclosing the number of patients because we have controlled the disease by a large percentage. Well, that is a story coming from the Citizen newspaper. We hope that, for all cases, look, with COVID-19, we hope and believe that for all cases, everything he's saying is true. Because it will be good for Tanzania if they actually, by a large reason or in large numbers, they have been able to really control the disease. That's good news for Tanzania. But if it's just politics, then it's something else we're looking at. So I believe that whatever he's coming out to say is really true for the sake of Tanzania. And then I hope that the mitigation measures that they've put together, both with the scientific method and traditional medicine, like he says, is really, really working for them. We're moving on to Uganda, where we're reading from the New Vision newspaper, and the headline says, renovated old taxi park to reopen on 4th March. This was said by the Kampala minister. On Friday, the Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Betty Amongi, checked out the progress of works at the old taxi park after she revealed that it is set to reopen for use next month on March 4th. The rehabilitation of this transport terminal has been going on since May last year, and although the completion of the project has delayed, the end is in sight. About 3 weeks from today, the park is expected to be back to its bustling self, typical by around-the-clock vehicular and human flow movement. Now we have the Sterling Civil Engineer Limited and Kiru General Services Limited, who were contracted to handle the project by the Kampala Capital City Authority, and they are busy applying the finishing touches to the park. Well, the Kampala Capital City Authority deemed it necessary to improve the state of the park because it is used by an estimated 200,000 people every day. And that is the story coming from the New Vision newspaper in Uganda. It's good things. It's good when you renovate old places, especially places that people or citizens or the people in the country tend to use a lot. Those maintenance culture is very important. So once they're maintaining and putting it back into a good shape to enable for long-term use, it's a good thing they have going on. Finally, we're headed to Senegal, where we're reading from the Le Quotidien newspaper. Now, the headline says Sonko case, Assembly's ad hoc committee convened on Monday. The ad hoc committee of the National Assembly to hear Usman Sonko on the rape charges having him will meet next Monday. It was the president of the institution who made the announcement at Thursday's office meeting. While the names of the members of the commission have not yet been released, correspondence has been sent to those affected to inform them of a meeting next Monday. The ad hoc committee will wait for Sonko, who is accused by Aji Sar, a masseuse, of repeated rape and death threat. Osman Sonko refused to refer to the convening of the research section in charge of the investigation. The leader of PASTEF opposed the Gendaman's status as an MP. It was then that the prosecutor's office formally referred the matter to the office of the National Assembly. Well, that is the story coming from the Lake Quotidien newspaper. I think we brought this story up when it first hit the headlines. An MP has been allegedly accused of rape, and he was then stripped of his ministerial title. We brought the story out the first time it actually hit the headlines in Senegal. This is a follow-up on it. We want to believe that justice will be done to where it's actually needed. Well, this brings us to the end of Headlines Across Africa.